Good morning, everyone. We are on. Only 3 minutes late today, which is a good step forward for us here. We seem to have this shocking time where we always start our live streams late, but we're here. It's good. Well, I'm here today. Sierra's sick, so hopefully she gets better soon. Yes, Cyber Monday. What a big day. We're gonna have a lot of fun today. Someone saying, "Wake up!" I'm here. I'm here. I've already had a coffee. This is my second coffee. Unbelievable. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, we're gonna have some fun today. So let's get the. Good morning, everybody. So I can see people just filtering in now. Hi, guys. Nice to see everyone. We have a lot of fun today. So I've got my Surface Laptop 7 here, which is going to help me find deals. We're streaming off the MacBook Pro 16. This is the M2 Max. It's one of our older ones. We ended up skipping the M3 Max. We actually bought two of them in, but I was just so disappointed. Honestly, M2 Max to M3 Max, for my use case, didn't make much of a difference, but M4 Max makes a huge difference. So this is one of our older ones, which we're just going to keep around for a streaming machine. Morning, everybody. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of seconds to get some more people in the door. Do I know what font macOS uses? I don't off the top of my head. I know it uses very different font rendering to Windows, which is why on a similar size screen, certainly I find if a similar size screen, similar size specs, right? Brightness, resolution, display size, I certainly find it easier to see small text on, I can make the text smaller and still have it visible on the Mac. And not just text, the whole, any content on screen. Than Windows, and I know that's a lot to do with the way macOS renders fonts. There was a big thing back in the day, like 15 or 20 years ago, about that Mac versus PC, and it's certainly something to consider. So if you're like a software developer or someone like that who wants to see a lot of text on screen, or using Excel, funnily enough, Macs are. I say funnily enough because obviously Excel should be done on Windows, but funnily enough, Macs are actually quite good, very good. So, morning everybody. People are just coming in slowly. There we go. Thank you. Mac uses SF Pro. Thank you. That must have been Kym from the Sky posting as the Just Josh account. There you go. Nice to have some help this morning. So I'm just going to hold for a second. If you've got questions, please answer them, and I might take a little bit of a browse to see what deals are there. Kym sent us a couple of deals in our Slack chat for the team. Oh, some nice ones this morning. So I'm on our website. You can see our website down here. It's at justjosh.tech. Love to know what you guys are thinking of the website so far. You know, have you used it? How do you find the buying experience on the website versus, you know, other laptop buying sites that you've found? Like, where do you think it's going well? Where do you think we can improve? That sort of thing. I'll move over a bit more centered. Yeah, probably about there. There we go. Okay. Do you think it's worth waiting until they put Wi-Fi 7 on the laptops on Mac? Depends how long you keep them for, and depends on your use case. You know, if you keep them for more than 3 years, yeah, I would wait for Wi-Fi. It depends. There's a lot of it depends. It depends on what you're upgrading from and how long you're keeping the laptop for. I would say if you're keeping it for more than 3 years, it's going to be very disappointing to not have Wi-Fi 7. I also think it depends what you're upgrading from, right? If you're coming from an Intel version of the Mac, this is going to be a monstrous upgrade and it's worth doing. If you're coming from something like M2, M3, probably not the year to upgrade to M4 unless they have Wi-Fi 7. And I do feel quite strongly about Wi-Fi 7, I must admit. Particularly on the MacBook Pros, you know, a lot of people are using them for creative tasks. Someone wrote to me about a comment actually yesterday evening. It came in about stitching together multiple high-resolution photos and how you need a large amount of memory. You know, when you're doing that kind of task, that's you know, it's a lot of data. And you know, the more we think Mac's obviously used for video editing, that's a huge amount of data. Just so you know, our videos tend to be about 200 gig of raw footage. For each video, you know, getting those videos up and down to the cloud and all this kind of stuff, Wi-Fi 6, even if we're close to the router, at best we might get 600 or 700 meg, at best, that's at best, but normally we're getting like 200. And you know, if you think about it, as you guys would know, internet connections are just getting faster and faster, which is great, right? Here we have optical fiber. We can do 2.5 gig up and down, which is obviously excessive, but this is, you know, a lot of houses in the US now are a gig down and maybe 100 meg up, and that's going to increase over the next couple of years. And Wi-Fi 6E in laptops, particularly the Macs, it just means you're just not going to get the full internet bandwidth that you can get, which is just very disappointing. So I think, yeah, that's one part of the new MacBook Pro 16s and 14s with the M4 that I'm quite disappointed about. So yeah, let's see what deals are people finding. What's good? Tell me. And I want to see. Yeah, someone says Adam said, you know, obviously he wishes the site had Canadian prices. That's our big effort for next year, is to do international. It's a big effort, you know. When I look at, we've got probably about 200 SKUs on the site right now. We've got to have them in at least India, Canada, UK and Germany are our big international markets. We've got to convert them all there. It means we've got to have people locally doing that. So yeah, we are trying to go international this year. Next year, 2025. That's our big goal for 2025, to have the site international. So it's coming. We just want to do it really well. Hey Josh, how's it going? Oh, hang on, there's one. Any overall 14-inch laptop better than the Asus S14 Intel AMD new chips? I'm assuming he means the Asus ZenBook S14. Any overall 14-inch laptops better? Yeah, this is a category. If you look at my best laptops of 2024 video, just general 14-inch laptops, I found it hard to kind of pick one winner, and it really depends what you want. So ZenBook S14 was one of my top ones. The Surface Laptop 7, which I'm using here, was one of my top ones. The Slim 7X was one of my top ones, and then yeah, those were probably my 3 top ones. I found the Slim 7i Aura edition was also pretty good, but that's 15-inch. And between those 3 I just mentioned, you know, 2 are Snapdragons, right? The Surface Laptop 7 and Slim 7X. So some applications won't run. But when you look at the ZenBook, which has Intel's Lunar Lake, at least the S14, it does have a very, the display is quite glossy. It's really glossy. So out in coffee stores where I used to use my laptops, a lot, you find a lot of reflections on the ZenBook, which you don't on like the Surface and the Slim 7X, or nowhere near as bad. They have brighter screens, which are better to combat reflections, and the coding is less reflective. So I think the ZenBook S14 is one of my top picks for sure. It's in one of my top 3 for a general all-purpose 14-inch laptop. Do really like it, but just be aware it's better to be used like in a not the brightest environment due to the reflections. Hey Josh, I'm wondering the same thing. Someone said, okay, someone's asking about, what about the $699 ZenBook 14 OLED touchscreen Intel Evo platform? This is the older Core i9 13900H. Oh yes, I know this one. 2880 by 1800, 14 OLED, 16 gig of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage. It's a decent price. It's not a great price. I'll tell you why. That laptop last year was actually selling for the same price. At this time last year, it was selling for the same price. So you had only 512 gig of storage, not 1 terabyte, but that's not a lot for keeping the price the same year on year. So I would say if you're in the international, this is too harsh. If you're international, it's a good price. If you're in the US, it's like not a great price. That should be about $600, I'd probably say. It's not a terrible price, but it's not great. Okay. Next one, let's have a look. How is everyone this morning? Are we good? Are we good? Is everyone having a nice time? My thoughts on the deals from Jared's website. Yeah, what an interesting question. Jared and I are very close. You know, it's a small community that does laptop reviews, at least at this kind of scale. Jared is certainly a good friend, and I think you should use his site. I always think it's good, and his website, get multiple perspectives. It's great. This is Jared's Tech, who covers gaming laptops. I think he does a really good job of covering gaming laptops very deep. You know, I think if you are looking for a gaming laptop, and I like that he's focused on that niche. You know, when you look at our channel, we've got 200 SKUs on here, and we're able to cover more breadth because obviously we have quite a large team. But I think if you're looking for gaming laptops, you should certainly search us, search him, watch our reviews on the laptops, watch his for sure. I think it's good to get those perspectives. Jared's website is very simple, but you know it does the job, right? He's looking. It's really very there's a bit of differences. His is very focused on the deals, so his is a great one to go to. I think once you're kind of aware of which laptop to buy, bam, go there. You see the deals, and I think they do a good job of that. Our website is a little bit different, and I'm trying to actually think, do we change the name of the website? So it's good that someone's mentioned. So our one is a little bit different. So for instance, what ours is not only a deal site, but obviously we put our reviews up here too. So you can see our kind of synopsis of the device at the top. Then we have our pros and cons, which kind of, so ours, that's the thing, it's more like a hub for laptop buying because we have what we think of it, its pros and cons. We also are very careful to put like alternates as well that you could buy instead that we recommend. And then obviously we have the price tracker. So there's an element of deals on our site as well, but our site is really designed around not just deals, but hey, what should you buy? Ours is, in fact, our secret sauce is more about the use cases. So if I come here, here's a good one. We've got laptops for different use cases. So if we can click students, for instance, you can then go in and go, hey, I'm a student who also wants to do creative tasks, right? I'm a student who also wants to game, or I'm a student who wants to game and program, right? And so where ours is more like a hub for laptop buying that also helps you find the best place to get the best deal. It kind of does both. What should you buy and where to go? So that's really what I'm trying to do here. And I'd love to hear from you guys if you think we should change the name to be something more apparent, because with the name justjosh.tech, you really need to know about our YouTube channel to find it. It's not like a general hub for laptop buying for everybody, which is what we want it to be. So yeah, let me know what you think on that one. I'm going to scroll back a little bit because I kind of missed one. I want the Pro for college next year, mechanical engineering major. Great choice. Great choice. Just get it on sale. Next one, the Pro is $200 off. Let's have a look at the Pro. We like the Pro a lot. Actually, we'll search for it because it's probably easier to get to that way. And which Pro is $200 off? That's what I'd like to see. So best price ever on the Pro at 16. I'd say for college, the Pro PX13 is amazing. That's a fantastic, yeah, $300 off. Oh man. 32 gig. It's only got the RTX 4050, but remember this is a very small laptop, the Pro. There's a 13-inch. It's a 2-in-1. Big, great, high quality machine. This is a great one to get. Pro at P16. Yeah, $200 off. Also a good one to get. You know, you might think this is expensive, 40, 60, and it is, but you're getting 32 gig of RAM. It's got the new Ryzen Zen 5 processor, which we've found for performance laptops is the best one out there right now. Normally there's a premium on this kind of a laptop with these processors. You'll see that in the G16 as well, that these tend to cost more than Intel right now because they're just better. This is a fair price on it. I wouldn't say it's like a crazy good deal, but it's a fair price. Yoga Pro 7 with the new Ryzen chip for £1,160, which is about $1,464. I think that's a very fair price. I think it's a good price. In the US, we just added this one to the site. And by the way, guys, with the site, as I mentioned before, it's not just deals, right? You can see what we've actually think of it because it's currently in testing. Another thing we're trying to do for 2025 is have our test results and our tests actually here that you can see them and then you can compare them so you can create your own graph set. But the Yoga Pro 7, if people aren't familiar with it, this is a 14.5-inch, I probably have one behind me. It's a 14.5-inch laptop that it's really a good one for those looking for CPU performance. So it does have that AMD Zen 5 chip, which is, as I said, I would consider the best processor right now, all-round processor for performance use, but it doesn't have dedicated graphics. So this is great for someone like a programmer who wants CPU performance, but particularly programmers who aren't doing stuff like gaming or video editing on the side. This is going to be a great one for you. This is the Yoga Pro 7. So this is a great one. Just came to the US, $1,300. It's not on sale, but don't worry about it. This is actually a good price to begin with because you get 32 gig of RAM, you get that great processor. It's got a really good screen, by the way, high resolution, fast refresh rate, bright. This is a good one. It does have a tinsy bit of fan noise. The person asked, is saying for British pounds about $1,464. I think that's a very good, fair price. So this is safe to buy right now, even though it doesn't look like it's on sale. Hey Josh, what do you think about Lenovo Yoga 7 2-in-1 14-inch 2.8K OLED, Quadra 7 155H? Yeah, we know this one well. If you can get this one, I'd get this one over it, the one I'm showing you here, unless you need that 2-in-1 capabilities. I'd get the Yoga Pro 7. This has just a much better processor. The Quadra 7 155H was it was a bit of a middling processor. It's okay, but it's not one of the top processors. I also think that price you're playing, mate, £1,200. Oh my God, EU. He's playing. He's playing euro, not pounds. I think that's a bit overpriced for what you're getting there. So I'd move on from that one. Let me keep scrolling back a bit. I want to make sure we didn't miss any. OmniBook Ultra Ryzen AI9 for $899 with 32 gig of RAM, 1 terabyte. Where is that? This is the Ryzen AI9 365, 32 gig of RAM. That's fantastic. Let me see if we got that one on here, because that is a great deal. That has to be the best. Oh my goodness, that's probably got, this is definitely one of the best deals of the day. So I only see 16 gig of RAM, not 32, but I think with HP you can upgrade it pretty easily. This is definitely one of the best deals of the day, for sure. This is $899 compared to that Yoga Pro 7 I just showed you. So this has that new Ryzen chip. The difference is this one is one level down of the Ryzen chip. It's only got the 365 processor, which isn't that different to the 370. I think it's got two less efficient cores, as I recall. It's got 16 gig, not 32, and it's a 14-inch, not a 14.5-inch screen. So both this or the Yoga Pro 7 are great to buy, but saving $400 on the Yoga Pro 7 I just showed you, which is a similar kind of machine, it's very fair. This is a good deal. This is a good deal. Yep. Let's have a look. Let's keep going. Can you please do a short TLDR about the Lunar Lake VivoBook S14? Yeah, the VivoBooks, it's really interesting. The VivoBooks and ZenBooks, you know, one is from their value range from Asus and one is from the premium range. They're actually not all that different, to be honest. Both are a similar quality machine. The new ZenBook S14s that have just come out, those do feel a little bit more premium on the build. They do. They call them the Ceruleum finish or whatever it is. I can't pronounce it. They're very similar, honestly. I would say you're getting about, this is a Surface Laptop 7, this is a MacBook next to me. You're probably getting 80% to 70% of the quality of these machines for those. So you are stepping back a bit. And when I say quality, all the little bells and whistles that make up a good laptop, whether it is the accuracy of the trackpad, these have haptic ones, those don't. Whether it is if the screen is super glossy. You know, I think the VivoBook and ZenBook, there's not much in it, honestly, in the difference between them. Yeah, I think the ZenBook, if you get in the S14, it's probably a notch up in build quality, but it's still not that. It's not as big a notch as you would think. So I think the VivoBook 14 was the specific question. They're very functional machines, is what I would say. You normally have like form over function, and you kind of, the VivoBooks are more at the function end of that scale. We found them, they're very usable, they're very good all-round machines. Particularly, I think this was this a Lunar Lake one, I believe? They're just really decent, solid all-round machines. So if you get them at a price of around, say, $800 US for that kind of machine, very good buy, yeah. Do you think MS Surface 7 will come with the new Intel AMD chips coming the next couple of months? I really like it, but I need AMD and Intel. Yeah, I need a premium experience, but not the XPS 13. It's not functional. You're spot on, Mayank. So this is Mayank asking about this laptop, the Surface Laptop 7. It's currently got a Snapdragon processor, which, as I've said many times, some applications don't work. I mean, guys, look, check this out, okay? Here's what Discord looks like on the Surface Laptop 7, right? Just doesn't work. Just doesn't work, right? Now there's a workaround. You can use Discord's web page to use Discord versus using the application. But things just don't often, you know, I love the Surface Laptop 7, but I just live with these workarounds. So he's asking, is there gonna be an Intel or AMD one? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. I would presume they would have already rushed one out with it for the end of the year for Black Friday, because most of the chips that I'm hearing that we're getting around CES are more for performance laptops. Like we're getting the Arrow Lake, which is the Core Ultra 2 series for Intel. I believe that's coming around CES time. We're getting AMD has a new one, Strix Halo, which is like Zen 5, but it's got more powerful integrated graphics. That's exciting. And then we're getting, of course, NVIDIA 5000. So I haven't heard of new lower powered chips, which would be in this laptop. So I would presume they're going to stick with Snapdragon, which is a shame, I would say. You know, I think if you have the same laptop with Intel Lunar Lake or Snapdragon, for a laptop like this is mainly for casual users, it's a hard sell for Snapdragon, it really is. It doesn't bring that much more to the table for this kind of user. And I get the pain, right? This is a very fantastic all-round machine, the Surface Laptop 7. We would like it that more people can use it, right? If this was my only laptop, I couldn't use the Surface because a lot of my applications, League of Legends, I like to play my downtime, doesn't work on this machine. So, you know, I think unfortunately the Surface Laptop 7 needs to be viewed right now. It really is. It's great for office and casual use as long as you're sticking to that and not going further out. Hi Josh, is Microsoft Surface 7 Laptop 7 good for coding? I think I've just covered that. Is it good? It depends what you're coding. I think it's too risky. I can't in good conscience recommend, you know, people buy it over something else for coding. I think for coding, I'd really like to see you on Intel, AMD, even Apple. People complain about Apple not having, you know, there's some apps don't work on macOS too. I get that. But realistically, what I've found is here's all the apps that work on Windows. macOS is about here. Snapdragon is about there. And I think macOS for coders, it really is very well built out for coders, macOS. It really is. Sure, you don't get Linux, but you know it's a Unix-based system anyway. And I just think that I personally, and this is me, I did 2 degrees in computer science. I've done 13 to 15 years, I can't remember exactly, professional programming. You really, when you buy a Snapdragon laptop, at least right now, you're saying, hey, I know these applications work and I'm confident in this and I'm going to stay to that lane. I personally think it's a bit too risky and I would get Intel and AMD or even Apple for coding. All right, guys. Hey, Sherry, morning. Good to see you. The OmniBook Ultra for $899 actually comes with 32 gig of RAM, the one on screen. Kym, would you be able to change that? Because it looks like we've got maybe the wrong spec here. This one is, so we both have automated APIs that update the site, and then we also update them manually. This might be a manual one. So we'll update it to 32 gig. At 32 gig, this is a fantastic buy. This is the best deal of the day I've seen so far. Fantastic buy. Hi Josh, I bought a Lenovo Yoga Pro 7, 14 Intel with the OLED display, 4060 in Germany for 1650 euros, but I never saw this 14-inch model in your YouTube reviews. Why is that so? Yeah, this one just didn't come to the US, unfortunately. That's why. When we expand to overseas markets next year, and I've said the top 4 for us is India, the US, the UK, India, the UK, Germany, and Canada. Those are the 4 we're focused on for next year. Hopefully we'll have more people raising, hey, you should be looking at this one. And when I say more people, people on the team who cover those regions. This one we just didn't have in the US. That's why you didn't see it covered on our channel. Let's start going through the Galaxy Book 3 Pro 16 for 650 euros. That does not sound that worth it, I don't think, with a 1360p. So that's a terrible processor. I would not get that for electrical engineering student. That's not a great processor. It was a bad processor from Intel's Raptor Lake, and we're now 2 levels forward. For that kind of price, you're paying 650 euros. You should be able to get something a bit better. Hey guys, so let's now go and have a look at some of the deals. They're still up as Black Friday deals on the site. We should change the label to Cyber Monday. In fact, I might ask someone to change that name to Cyber Monday. I'm just going to get that done. Okay, so let's have a look what we got. So this Asus VivoBook 14 for $200, yeah, this is just a great buy. This has been going on all weekend, actually. Let's keep going. Someone's asking, is the Pro Art P16 good for computer engineering? Yeah, it's really good for that. Just be aware the screen is a little bit on the dimmer side. It's like 360 nits or thereabouts. I wouldn't call that dim, but it's not bright enough to be used in a bright environment without, you might find yourself pressing the brightness up button. Overall, the Pro Art P16 is great for computer engineering. You're going to be very happy with that laptop. It's super lightweight too for studies. Like even though it's a 16-inch laptop, the Pro Art P16 as well as the Asus Zephyrus G16 are actually surprisingly lightweight. They're around the same as a heavier 14.5-inch gaming laptop. So great buy. Please, by the way, guys, just a little bit as I go through the deals. Obviously, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. We're trying to grow the business as fast as humanly possible because, like you can see the questions here, we want to be international. We want to do more videos for you. We want to do high quality videos for you. We can only do that with your help. So if you're not subscribed, just click that subscribe button. It really does help grow the channel. What happens when you launch a video is YouTube sends it out to subscribers first. If more subscribers watch it, then it'll send to more people like them, and you get this kind of network externality effect. So it really does make a big difference. The other thing that you can do is if you are going to buy a laptop today and you are in the US, please, please, please do use our site. That is something that costs you nothing extra to use it. And not only hopefully is a good site with all the deals, it has the price tracker and all that, but it does help support the channel, right? And that helps us grow too. So that would be very helpful. The site name's down the bottom, justjosh.tech. Okay, Bradley, thank you very much. I've seen you helping and supporting the channel before. Appreciate the donation. That's very kind of you. Thank you. And I think you're going to love the M4 Pro. I love it. I'm really enjoying it, I must say. We've got a video coming out, by the way, on the laptops we actually use, so I think you guys will like that one. So let's go through the deals, okay? So let's have a look if there's anything that jumps out. The Victus for $429. If you want to play some games, that's okay. Don't love it. ZenBook 14 OLED, this is still 8 gig of RAM, which I think is, I'd say, yeah, the Asus VivoBook S15 is probably the first one here that jumps out as a really good one. So this is Snapdragon X Plus, like the laptop I'm using here. As I said, some applications won't work, but it's still, if you're just sticking to office applications and things like this is a great deal. This is a solid deal, the VivoBook S15. Like Yoga 7i, 2-in-1, 14-inch, 125 Core Ultra Series 5, 125U. This is actually a pretty good one. Someone's just coming in, by the way. Hey, Ethan, morning. So this one's actually a pretty good one to get, the Yoga 7i Core Ultra 5. What we've found in our testing is this one actually lasts quite a long time on battery. This is one of the best performing ones on battery, actually. HP Envy 2-in-1 16. This is an okay one for if you want a 16-inch laptop, $649, that's pretty good. Aero 13 is a nice lightweight AMD laptop, Zen 4, so it's Pri-Gen AMD, but it's still, that's a very good one as well. There's some good deals here, guys. VivoBook S14. This is our first Lunar Lake. This is a very good price for a Lunar Lake laptop. This one here, the Core Ultra 5. This is a good price for a VivoBook, for a Lunar Lake. Thank you, Pratchett. That's very nice of you. First super on live stream. Thank you very much. That's greatly appreciated. Aero 13. This one's starting to get a bit expensive for the Aero 13. I wouldn't buy that laptop at $749. Acer Nitro V. This is our first 4060 laptop at $749. This is a good price, clearly, for a 4060. So if you want, and you've got 16 gig of RAM, this has everything you need if you want to do some solid gaming. This is a good one. There's the Lenovo LOQ. I personally prefer the Nitro. I know some people prefer the LOQ. Another 4060 laptop. This has the HX processor. The LOQ will technically be more powerful than the Nitro, but it's a Core i5 though. But it still should be a little bit more powerful. Here's our first MacBook, $799. This is the M3 MacBook Air. It's only got 8 gig of RAM, 256 gig of storage, but for someone doing light tasks, I think the overall premium nature of the Mac, you're probably going to enjoy, like, its better speakers and webcam and stuff like that. This is our first, I would say, premium laptop on the list at $799. Only 8 gig of RAM, but for those just doing casual tasks, you'll probably be fine. and gives you Apple's excellent M3 chip. In fact, we've got a great video coming for you. It should be out tomorrow on the best laptops for the longest battery life. Out of 200 we've tested, we've kind of sorted them by longest to shortest battery life. This one did very well. I think it was like second on the list. That was in one of our tests, performance tasks on battery. Moving down, Asus VivoBook Pro. This has been on a great sale most of the weekend, $799. What we like about this, for $800, you are getting a relatively powerful processor, 16 gig of RAM, and you've got a 3050. So you've got dedicated, it's that kind of fusion. It's kind of like a good, cheap creator laptop. Previously, it's someone like who would like to do some coding, maybe gaming on the side, or they want to do some creative tasks, but they can't afford a better machine. We were previously recommending the IdeaPad 5 Pros for that, but at $799, this one kind of jumps ahead. This is just a great price for that. Slim 7X, oh wow. This is a deal of the day for sure. This is great. Even though this is a Snapdragon laptop, this is the best performing Snapdragon laptop, and it beats the Surface Laptop 7 in several ways. It has a bigger screen, it's 14.5 inches, which is significantly bigger than this one. The screen is brighter, it's the best OLED screen we've used, it's like 500 nits. It has a great keyboard, it looks super slick. The only thing that really holds it back is really two things. One, its trackpad, it's not as good as the Surface Laptop 7s, it's not a haptic one, it has a pretty loud click to it too. And the other one, of course, it's a Snapdragon laptop, so it, some apps won't work. Pratchett, thank you again, that's very kind of you. Very kind of you. So let's move on. HP OmniBook Ultra 14, that is a great deal, and that's got 32 gig of RAM. I believe we're updating it right now. Slim Pro 7, this is the older model with a 3050. This is decent, this is a good price too. Again, this is similar to what I just said before about the 15-inch ZenBook Pro. This is a 14-inch, but you've got that kind of, this is the older Pro 7. You get the dedicated graphics and a decently powerful processor for $899, so that's pretty good. So it's kind of that fusion. It's not a gaming laptop, but it's also not a one without dedicated graphics. It's kind of a hybrid in between. Okay, here we've got the Surface Laptop 7, which is the one I personally use for office tasks and light tasks, on a good sale there at $899. That's good. Here you've got the 4070. It's our first 4070 with the TUF 15. This is going to be a great deal for a gamer at $1,000. Just so you guys know, thereabouts 4060 to 4070, not as huge a difference as you would think. Probably, it depends on the power fed to it, but around 20% extra performance. It's not going to be a massive difference, but 4070 to 4080 is. That's a very big difference. That's like 50% extra performance. And I'm just summarizing it clearly for you. Neo 16, even though this has a 4060, we still think it's a good deal because this is the new Predator Helios Neo. They changed the actual chassis in between last year and this year. And this one is just a higher quality machine than the TUF. And as I said, 4060 to 4070, not a huge difference. You also get a 16-inch screen that'll be more immersive for gaming. And also this has a fantastic processor, the i9-14900HX. So that's Intel's most powerful processor. It's the most powerful processor going around in a gaming laptop. So this is a good buy at $999. Someone just said, can you tell me why you don't mention the Lenovo Yoga 7 8840HS as a good deal? At $599 it is. Could you just, yeah, it is a good deal at $599. Could you just tell us where that one is, Yamin? We don't have that on the site, so I'd like to know where it is. This is the Lenovo Yoga 7 8840HS for $599. That seems like a good deal, but I'd like to see the laptop to find out the other specs about it. So maybe just post it there and we can see if we can add it to the site if it is a good deal. And all of these guys, as I said, this is not just a deal site. So if you kind of click into it, you'll see what we think of the laptop for the ones we've personally had in, which is pretty much most of them. You'll see like our pros and cons. So if you click here, like the Aura Edition, you can see exactly what we think about it, who we think it's good for, its pros, cons, some alternate models that we recommend if you don't want this one. This is a great buy, by the way. Where are we? We should be at the Aura Edition. Here it is. Where it is? It's down here. Slim 7i. So the Aura Edition, I think, is a kind of like a more useful. It kind of fixes a couple of issues of that Slim 7X that I mentioned before. This one is a 15.3-inch display, but it's actually a very small and thin laptop for one with a 15.3-inch display. It's more akin to like the MacBook Air 15. It's quite compact. and it fixes a lot of issues of the Slim 7X. You get the Intel's Lunar Lake processor, which I think more applications are going to run than the Slim 7X's Snapdragon. It has more ports, this one, and the trackpad is a little bit better than the Slim 7X. Let's have a look. OmniBook Ultra Flip. That's a nice price for the OmniBook Ultra Flip. I skipped over the MacBook Air, but that's fine. This is the 16 gig, 512 gig model. This is the model, if you're buying a MacBook Air, most people should buy. That's a good sale, $1,050. It's a good deal on the MacBook Air M3. Yep, I like that one. This is the model, as I said, sorry, repeating myself, most people should buy. OmniBook Ultra Flip, this is our first, this is a premium 2-in-1. It's actually a bit smaller than the Spectre 14 that it replaced, so it's actually quite portable. It's a nice high quality, it's got an OLED display. This is the Ultra 5 version, but it's still Lunar Lake. This is a nice laptop. It's going to feel quite premium, this one. Let's keep going down. I just want to get a sense today, guys. I'm looking at the deals for the first time like you guys are, and I want to get a sense of what's out there. So MacBook Air 15, this is an 8 gig of RAM. This shouldn't, just ignore this one. This is not good with the M2. We're going to remove this from the site. I would say let's archive this config. MacBook Air 15 M2 with 8 gig of RAM. If you wouldn't mind, let's archive this one. It's not great. The G14, this is a good deal for the G14. Look, let's just call a spade with the G14. It uses the Zen 4 processor. They're packing a lot of hardware into a tiny chassis. It does feel constantly warm, but it is a premium 14-inch gaming laptop that's very compact, very portable, and with a 4060 for $1,200, it's a good buy right now. I wouldn't say it's like, holy goodness, run out and get it, but it's a good buy. Surface Laptop 715, good buy on that one. Dell Alienware M16R2. This one with a 4070, that's a decent buy. Some people like an Alienware laptop. The screen on this one is a little bit, it's not the brightest, and it's a Qualtra 7155H. Me personally, I would get the Predator over this for sure. As I said, there was a $1,000 Predator, that Predator had the RTX 4060, but if you can get a Predator with a 4070, I'd get that over this, because this processor, the Qualtra 7, that might hold you back a little bit in gaming. It's not the fastest processor. So you got a 4070, but it's paired with that processor. You really want to see it with the Qualtra 9, I think, or an HX processor for that kind of price. So it's okay, but it's not a great deal. Let me switch over here. We've got some super chats coming in, so I want to do them justice and answer them. The Asus ZenBook S16 AMD 365 for $1,149 versus the Aura 999 versus the S14 Lunar Lake at $1,149. Okay. Me personally, the ZenBook S16, which is, he's asking ZenBook S16, the Lenovo Aura Edition, which is a 15.3-inch laptop, versus the ZenBook S14, which is the 14-inch version of the S16. That has Lunar Lake, this is AMD, and the middle one has Lunar Lake as well. I personally, out of those three, would absolutely get the Lenovo Aura Edition. I think a couple of things. One, those two, the S16, it does get quite warm with AMD in it. It's actually, even though it's a big 16-inch laptop, it's actually very thin and light. It's super thin. So you do get a bit of warmth on that laptop, which you don't get on the Aura Edition. The other factor of play here is, and both the Aura and it have very good battery life. Also does the ZenBook, the smaller 14-inch. Compared to the 14 to the 16, obviously that's predominantly a size thing. You need to decide that. I think the Aura Edition is nice because it sits in between the 16 and the 14. It's a 15, and it's, it's more portable than the 16, slightly less portable than the 14. I also like the Aura. I find its screen is a little bit, it's not quite as glossy. It handles reflections a bit better than the ZenBook S16 and the 14. Both of those are very glossy. I think the only reason I would get the S16 over the Aura Edition is if you needed that extra performance. The AMD Zen 5 365 chip is definitely more performance. It gives you much more performance than the Aura Edition's Lunar Lake. But if you're like a student, you're doing some basic coding, like you're coding websites, I think the Lunar Lake, the 7 series chip in the Lunar Lake is going to be totally fine, Qualtra 7. Series 2. So I would get for $999, I'd get the Aura personally. That's what I would get. I think it's a really good all-round laptop. I think it's it just, using it, you're not going to be annoyed by the heat, as I said, of the S16. It's less glossy, which I think makes it more usable in different locations. It's more portable than the S16 because of its size. So I would get that one. Okay, next super chat. I really want to get to these super chats, guys, because I think it's just fair that we, people are supporting the channel. We should help them. My perfect laptop does not exist, from Leonardo. Linux coding, gaming portability, and performance. Yeah, closest is Pro. Yeah, I know this use case very well, mate, because I would fit into this kind of use case, and I've split mine between 2 laptops because of this, but Linux is terrible on it. Yeah, I would be suggesting Yoga. Realistically, for this use case, you're stuck with the Yoga Pro 9i, the Pro, which you have, or the G16. I would get the AMD version. Yeah, you're on the right track, but yeah, this is what I would call the do-it-all laptop, right? It's good at everything. It's a hard category, but I think if you're on the Pro at P16, you're kind of on the best one for this, to be honest, or one of the best ones. Tough. I want to go back to the deals, but the Asus Tough A14, I haven't seen it on the deals list. The problem with the Tough A14. We liked it as the best 14-inch gaming laptop. It actually topped our rankings. It's one of the only 14-inch laptops that got updated with Zen 5, and that kind of was the thing that carried it over across for the win, because it's just so much more power efficient than Core Ultra 9. So it doesn't, and especially in a smaller laptop like a 14-inch gaming laptop, it doesn't get as hot, and you don't hear as much fan noise, which makes it a delight to use. But it's just not a good price. It just isn't. Like, you see the G14 at 1,200, and that's meant to be the premium model. The Tough is meant to be the model down, and it's more expensive. It's ridiculous. But that's because, as I said, a lot of these Zen 5 laptops, they're going for a premium right now. So I think it's a good laptop, but I don't think it's a good price. The one I like is this one, Acer Predator Helios Neo 14, which is exactly where we're up to. I think that is a great price. $1,400. That has the Core Ultra 9, which pairs better with the RTX 4070 because it's quite a good amount faster than the 46. I beg your pardon, the Core Ultra 7 155H, which was the one we saw in the Dell Alienware, the Core Ultra 7. So this gives you a Core Ultra 9. It's a 14.5-inch screen, so it's bigger than the G14 screen. Which, when you're talking about small gaming laptops, that extra half an inch doesn't sound like much, but it does make the game a bit more immersive. It really does. It's got 32 gig of RAM out of the box, which most of these others that we've seen, a lot of them, the gaming ones so far have been 16, if not 8. You've got 14.5 inches, as I talked about. You've got the RTX 4070, and this is a high wattage RTX 4070. I believe it's around 115 watts for 1,400. This is the gaming one I would personally get. Just be of note, look, I'm being straight up with you guys, as I always am. It is a heavier, bigger gaming laptop. So it's kind of like the size, this is kind of like the weight of a G16, which is a 16-inch. But obviously it's a more compact size, but it's a bigger 14-inch gaming laptop. It is, but I think that's the one to get. I think that's a good deal, very good deal. Spectre 14, this is just way too expensive at this point. It's got the only thing in its favor is the 32 gig and 2 terabytes. So it has good config, but 1,400 is pretty pricey, and that I believe the SSD is replaceable anyway. I would personally get the Flip, that we saw earlier. I'm just having a look. Okay. If you're not subscribed, guys, get subscribed. Help support the channel. We want to create more of these streams. We want to review more laptops. We want to provide you with better information. All of that sort of thing. Let's move on. Nice sale on the Legion 7i this morning, actually. 4070. This has an even better processor. Well, it's a more powerful processor, the Core i9 14900HX, 32 gig of RAM, 1 terabyte. I like this. I like this a lot, the Legion 7i. That's a good price on the 4070. It's not a great price, but it's a good price given the overall quality. This is a high quality machine. The one thing of note on the Legion 7i, it is actually a little thicker than the Legion Slim 7 it replaced from last year, but because they've gone with this HX chip, not an H series, you get a lot more, you do get huge performance, but it does get warm. This is kind of like constantly warm. It reminds me of like the G14, where you've packed such powerful components into a tiny laptop. This is the same kind of thing again, but for a 16. So this one, I always love picking up, like, oh, the keyboard's so nice. It feels nice. It looks great. It's a white laptop. We probably have it somewhere around. I think it's outside. But it gets warm. G16 Intel. Yeah, this one gets warm too. I would definitely get the Legion 7i over it with a 32 gig of RAM and the more powerful processor. And this is $100 more, so I'd kind of skip over the G16. I don't think it's a good price. And the Intel one here, it's not. The AMD version, the G16, is much better. Let's move along. Still some good deals on the MacBooks. I actually bought quite a few MacBooks for the office and myself this year. Great deals. I bought the M4 Max 48 gig of RAM one. I know it's expensive, but it was $400 off. That's fantastic. So I bought that myself. I'm very excited about it for me to use. Another G14 on sale with a 4070. I think now when you're talking about $1,649, yeah, 32 gig of RAM, but you've got the older Zen 4 processor, it gets warm. I don't think, me personally, I would get the Predator I showed you earlier. I know it's less portable. It also has a 4070, it's cheaper. The Predator was what, 1,400 versus the G14, which was 1,649. So you're paying $250 more for the G14 for a smaller display. Everything else is kind of similar. I think the Predator's just a better buy. I think you're going to, if you're gaming on a laptop, a 40-inch, that 14.5-inch screen, it just helps. Good prices on the MacBooks. Any M4 right now that's $200 or more off is a buy. Josh, I'm going to read this comment here. Is the M3 Max 16-inch 40-core GPU for $2.8K a good deal? It's an okay deal. It's decent. It's decent. Yeah. It's decent. I want to be fair on you. It is. You can buy the new one for like $3,500. So you're talking about $700 step up to get the M4 Max. Yeah, I think the M3 is a better deal than the M4 at that kind of price if you're talking about $2,800. So someone's asking if you're not doing gaming and he's doing creative tasks, is the M4 Pro chip better than buying a gaming laptop? Absolutely. Absolutely great. I would definitely, if you're not doing gaming and you're doing creative tasks, I think the Macs right now destroy Windows laptops. I would only get a Windows laptop if you like doing creative tasks, but you also want to do gaming on the side. That is a game that doesn't run on Macs. Like for me, I play League of Legends and TFT. Particularly TFT runs very well on the Macs, so I'm okay sticking to Macs. MacBook with PC with RTX 4080. I'm getting distracted here. I want to finish the list. The Legion Pro 7, this is the one with the 4080 for $2,000. I think that's a fair buy with the 4080. As I said, guys, the 4080 is a big step up from the 4070. You're talking like 50%, and this is, you know, thumb in the air kind of, but it's a bigger step up than going from a 4060 to 4070, significantly so. And also, by the way, the Core i9 in this 4900HX in the Pro 7i performs much better than it does in the smaller, the white 7i. It's a bigger laptop, it's thicker, it's got a better cooling, and it feeds it more power. And it doesn't get as hot to the touch. So this is actually, if I was to buy a gaming laptop today, this is the one that I think is probably the best deal if you want like the ultimate gaming performance. More MacBook Pro discounts. This is the M3 Pro 16. This is the MacBook Pro 16, $400 off. I've said this in my MacBook videos. I think the M3s need to be at least $400 off compared to a comparable M4 to make it worthwhile, and I don't think this one is, so I would kind of get the M4s. The M4 is such a big step up, particularly M4 14-inch MacBook Pro, not with the M4 base chip versus the M3 base chip of the 14-inch from last year. That's a huge step up. On the Pro side, when you talk about the M3 Pro MacBook Pros, whether 14 or 16 to the M4 Pros, very big step up, much more than you would think from the core count, because you've got faster memory bandwidth, you've got more performance cores, better mix of cores, you've got Thunderbolt 5, and you've got the brighter display. I would definitely get the M4. Those are big differences. Once you get into the M4 Max MacBooks, the difference isn't quite as stark. It's not quite as big as on the Pro chips or the base M4 chips. Okay, and the rest are just MacBooks. The $400 off on the MacBook Pro 16 M4 Max, that's a great deal. This is one I picked up myself, great deal. I would definitely buy this. See, it's only $200 off difference between the M3 version. You should buy the M4 for sure for that difference for $200. The M4 is better. But once you get for those M4 Pros and the M4 base, at least $400, if not $500 difference because as I said, they're a bigger jump than the M4 Max ones. The OmniBook deal is just fantastic. Someone's asking about the Yoga Pro 7 on sale. I don't know when it's going on sale, but right now the OmniBook is a better deal for sure. I hope we've updated it to the 32 gig of RAM model. I'm just going to check because it should be 32 gig. This is one of the best deals of the day, folks. If you don't care about gaming graphics and you want a Zen 5 laptop, here it is here. This is like the deal of the day. $900 for Zen 5 with 32 gig of RAM, HP OmniBook Ultra 14. That's one of the best deals of the day. That's a very good deal. That's a very good deal. This is a laptop I started using and I was like so disappointed. I'm like, oh, it's 60 hertz display. The display isn't the brightest. But I just kept using it and I used it for about 2 weeks because I originally had this script written, by the way, where I was going to rip it apart like I did with Dell's XPS. But the more I used it, the more I liked the laptop, right? Because on paper, it's got this 1mm key travel on the keyboard, which feels shallow. It's got the 60 hertz screen, as I said, the screen's not the brightest, and I was just going to rip it apart for a premium laptop with that. But if you look about it, at $900, these things are totally acceptable, and honestly, the keyboard for a shallow, low travel one is actually pretty good. And Zen 5 at this price, that's definitely one of the deals of the day. This is a good deal to get, and I think it's a better deal with 32 gig of RAM than buying the Pro 7 right now, which is Lenovo's kind of version of this. The Pro 7 has a bigger screen. It's a 14.5-inch screen, and it's a similar size laptop, so that's kind of more useful, but right now it's $400 more, and I don't think that makes it worth it. Slim 7X at $850. That I think is also one of the good deals from today. I think the Slim 7X is fantastic. That one, I'll bring it up. Where is it? This is one of the, I would say, the top 2 Snapdragon laptops. This is one of the best deals of today. Again, fantastic deal. As long as your software runs on Snapdragon, I've talked about this a gazillion times. Even right now, like here's what Discord looks like on Snapdragon. Blank screen, right? Like this is the Discord app. League of Legends doesn't work on it, which is the game I play. There's a lot of things that don't work on it. You know, as long as you're sticking to office use though, so I use the Surface Laptop 7, which is a Snapdragon laptop for managing this business, and I'm using it right now to speak to you guys. You know, I love it, I really do, but if it was my only laptop, I couldn't use this one because so many applications still don't work. And people are really at me going, hey, you're so tough on Snapdragon, why aren't you tough on Apple applications not working? Honestly, Apple's compatibility is better right now than Snapdragon's. It just is. And I think most people know that if you want to run Linux or you want to run the latest AAA games, you don't buy a Mac. People know that, right? But with Snapdragon, because it runs Windows, I think a lot of people are kind of may not understand that this full catalog of Windows applications does not work on these machines. Now, if you're okay with that, right, the Slim 7X or the Surface are the 2 to get. So as I said, I actually use this in conjunction with another laptop, which is why I'm able to use a Snapdragon one as one of my primary laptops. Slim 7X, basically here's what we love about it, 14.5-inch display. It is the best OLED of the ones we've tested. You don't have this kind of screen door effect which you have on other OLEDs. It's actually brighter than most of the OLEDs we tested. Most of them are like 350, 400 nits. This is 500. It has a 14.5-inch display. It's super thin, super portable. It's very portable for its screen size. The problem though is Snapdragon processor we've talked about. It would be great if it had a Lunar Lake. It also has a cheaper feeling trackpad. You can hear it's got a really loud click if you press tap to click. Not tap to click if you physically press the click. And then it has very limited ports. I don't believe it has a headphone jack and it has 3 USB-Cs only. But still, for $849, great price, great price. If all you're doing is web browsing, office work, great price, great deal. All right, I am going to hang around for probably 15 minutes or so more, and let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Laptops with good battery life and mild gaming. We just did this one, by the way. Laptops, we've got a video coming. It was meant to be out yesterday, but we have to make some changes. So I would say good battery life and mild gaming. The one that really stood out, anything Zen 5 does better. The Pro at P16 actually did pretty well. So I would say the G16, it didn't make our list, but it's a very similar laptop to the Pro Art. I'd say G16 or tough. Probably G16 with Zen 5 is probably a good one to get. You'll see the Pro Art mentioned in our video that's coming out on gaming on battery life. Yeah, okay. Let me keep looking. Okay. The Acer Neo 14 is an all-time low at Woot for $1,229. Wow, that's a fantastic deal. If that's the case, we'll have to have a look at getting that on the site then. Oh, that's a fantastic deal if that's the same spec. We'll check that out. Can we check out the Predator at Woot? We should sync up afterwards about that one. Great job on your website, thank you. Seeing the M3 Pro, this is the older MacBook Pro 14, I'm assuming it's a 1411 core, 14 core GPU, 512 gig, 1700. I would get the M4 standard over the 11 core. The M4 10 core is about equivalent to, it's around the same as the M3 Pro 12 core. I'd get the M3 Pro 12 core over the M4 base because it's from the Pro range, which means it has the 2-fan cooling solution, not one. The 11 core though is a little bit, it's not quite as good. They're pretty neck and neck, honestly. What was the price difference here? The M4 is cheaper. I'd get the, but you get 2 extra gig of RAM. And you get 1 terabyte of storage with the M4. I'd get the M4, me personally, for $100 less. This is Shamrat's comment. Let me see. Do you think the P4, I don't know the P14 too well, so I don't want to answer that one. Slim 7i, Aura, or the OmniBook? I personally, at the price that they're going for right now, I might, ooh, that's tight. They're neck and neck. I mean, one's got a bigger display, a brighter display being the Slim 7i Aura. It's 15.3 inch versus the OmniBook. So we're talking about OmniBook, which is this great deal on right now, which is here for $900 with 32 gig of RAM, AMD. So this wins by having the Zen 5 processor, much more powerful than Lunar Lake, 32 gig of RAM, 1 terabytes, and then he's comparing it to the $999 Slim 7i Aura, which is $100 more. You get Lunar Lake, you get less RAM, less storage, but you get 15 inches. Oh, it's tough. If you are doing, say, programming, I think the OmniBook is better. It's just a much more powerful processor. If you're doing basic home or office tasks, I think the Slim 7i Aura is going to be better. That's my 2 cents. I personally would probably get the OmniBook for $100 less. I think the OmniBook's a killer deal right now. Oh, hang on, there's another super chat. Not looking for a Windows laptop, but not sure if Mac serves the purpose. MacBook M4 Max with 40 core GPU versus PC with the RTX 4080. So assuming not gaming, or 4090, 1624 gig for deep learning or AI. So this person is asking about, should they buy the highest end M4 Max? That has 48 gig of memory, it's unified. So when you do AI tasks, you can actually access the full amount of memory, which is great. Or the 4080, a PC versus, he said PC with an RTX 4080 or 4090. So we got to be careful here, okay? When you mean PC, if you mean desktop, absolutely the desktop is probably going to be better, okay? A desktop's version of 4080 or 4090 is much more powerful than a laptop's. And also, just FYI, the 4090 for laptop, as I recall, is about 500 to 600 gigabytes of memory bandwidth, where on the desktop it's about it's almost it's 1,000. It's like a terabyte. So it's much faster on memory bandwidth, which matters for machine learning and AI. So if you're talking MacBook Pro M4 Max, the highest config versus a desktop, Windows desktop, absolutely the desktop. If you're talking laptop to laptop, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. And the reason is, so memory bandwidth is around the same if you're talking 4090 to the highest end M4 Max. The 4080 is a bit less. I think the 4090 is the one to compare, not 4080, because the Mac is almost $3,500 and you can get a PC with a 4090 for that price too easily, right? So let's compare highest to highest. I think the big difference is this. The Windows laptop's going to have 24 gig of memory accessible, right, for learning it if you're using the GPU, whereas the Mac you can use almost all of the 48 gig. But on the PC side, you get CUDA, right, which is pretty much the industry standard and is much more built out than any other machine learning and AI interface. So I have to say, I think the 4090s, it's going to be loud, it's going to be hot. I think it's a better buy for machine learning and AI. I do. I would get this one, the Legion Pro 7 with a 4090 is a good one to get, or maybe even if you want a bigger laptop, which is crazy, but the Asus Strix Scar 18 is a good one to get too. But here's the Legion Pro 7. I would probably grab this with a 4090 is what I would do. It's on sale for $900, like $2,400. I think it's going to get you there for machine learning and AI better than the Mac would be, and it's going to be $1,000 cheaper, more than $1,000. So I'd go for that one. I think CUDA is just going to carry it for the win, honestly. If I'm trying to stay under fight, thank you, Edgardo. So I'm going through the super chats. I'm giving priority to them. Because obviously they're trying to help support the channel in a deeper way. If trying to stay under $2,000, do you have any laptop in mind for structural engineering and doing stock and option trading? Can be flexible with budget. Yeah, so, when we talk about stock trading, you're going to want to, which I do quite a bit of, you're going to want to have a lot of monitors and things like that. A Thunderbolt dock's going to help you get you there. Structural engineering I'm not as worried about in that price range because you're not doing like photorealistic 3D renderings as you are in other things for the most part. So the rendering is there, but it's not as complex. I think you could go, let's have a look what you could get. And I'm just going to focus on the deals because those are the ones that you're probably interested in buying today. The one that's coming to mind, honestly, I think the G16 is a great one to get for what you're talking about. I would love to see you on the G16 with this one here with AMD. I would like to see you on this one. Oh, that's the best price ever too. This is a great one. Yeah, this is what I would like to see you on for 2,000. Bam. The one thing I don't love about this one is its screen isn't the highest resolution. Yeah, it's high enough, guys. It's like 2560 by 1600. But for something like coding, the ProEye is going to look crisper because it's a high resolution panel. Once you stretch 2560 by 1600 over a 16-inch panel, it's not the highest resolution. It's still decent though. I think though this one is just fantastic. This is my favorite gaming laptop. I think this is good for what the gentleman has asked for. I think it gives you a big screen. It's portable, so the big screen is going to be helpful for trading and things like that. It's portable. You've got a powerful GPU, powerful CPU. This is my favorite CPU for performance laptops. 32 gig of RAM. I think this is a good one. I would also consider a Mac too at $2,000. By the way, I would consider the 14-inch, and I know it's only a 14-inch screen, but it's got a Thunderbolt 5. You can plug it into tons of monitors. I would consider the MacBook Pro 14 or 16 at around $2,000 with the M4 Pro chip. They basically just start to become affordable at that price range. So that's the other one I would consider, assuming your software works, but you'll have to check if your software works because I don't know what you're running. So those are the two I would suggest for that. Let's see if there's any more super chats. Nope. If you are going to shop, guys, please use our website. You know, the name's there, justjosh.tech. This helps support the channel. It does make a big deal for us that this is the thing that helps us grow. And on that note, if you're not subscribed, get subscribed, guys. Come on, we're here. We're helping you guys out. We want to grow the channel. We want to do better videos. We want to do more videos for you. We're very excited about growth. We've got some cool videos coming out on our growth very shortly. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed. And please support and use the channel. Send it to your friends. Put it on Twitter, justjosh.tech. And I'm going to start to wrap up soon because I've been on for about, how long have we been streaming for now? We've been streaming for about a bit over an hour. And I'll just add a couple more questions and I'll head off. And I'm going to try and focus on laptops that I know well, because there's a lot of comments pointing to me, but on laptops I don't know as well. Like the Strix non-Scar edition, I don't know that well, so I don't want to answer that one. Here's another super chat, so let me just grab this one, another donation. Between the IdeaPad Pro 5i i9 155H with 4050 OLED from Costco versus the HP Envy, oh, good lord, 16 with the i7 13700H 4060 also from Costco, what's the thoughts? Are these both the ones in Envy? Is a tough one. So this two CPUs are going to perform somewhat similar. It says i9, but he's put 155H, which is actually the i7. Let me just have a look at the Costco one the person's mentioning. Costco. And this is the IdeaPad Pro 5i. Let's see which one it is. Okay, so this is, he said i9. It is the i9. Okay. So the i9 is a better CPU than the 13700H, the Core Ultra i9, but then you've got the difference in the GPU. I'm sorry to say this. I can't really answer this one because it really depends on how important that GPU is to you. I will say this, the 4060 is a big step up from the 4050. You've got more VRAM. It's a very big step. It's not just the more VRAM, it's a much more powerful GPU. So I think it really is, what are you going to use that GPU for? If you're very occasionally going to use the GPU, or you're going to play games like League of Legends that don't need a lot of, big GPU, I'd get the IdeaPad Pro 5i because both of these are similar quality machines, the HP Envy. This is an older HP Envy because I know that because you've got the 13700H. I think the Core Ultra, the i9 is a better processor because it's a significantly better processor than the 3700H. So if you only occasionally use the graphics, get the IdeaPad Pro. If you're going to use the graphics a lot, get the 4060 of the Envy. But expect that 13700H, they have terrible battery life, by the way. Okay, I'm just going to start to wrap up here, guys. Let's see. There's no G14 with 32 gigs and 4060. Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, that config, you have to get a 4070 and you're kind of upcharged quite a lot for that. The G14, this is Canadian dollar, so it's a bit hard for me to tell right now. So look, guys, I think let's start to wrap up. It's been awesome seeing everybody this morning. Please make sure you check our website, right? For they're currently listed Black Friday deals at Cyber Monday deals too. We're scouring the internet to find the best deals for you. You'll find them all here. Don't forget to use these good for at the top. These are the use cases, so you can really quickly filter down to what laptops we think are good for you. You've got the screen sizes here as well, with the dedicated graphics. We've got these easy links at the top. If you want, you can go check out recommended tech, which is for specific use cases. And by the way, guys, this is not algorithmically done. I mean, we use an algorithm to get the pricing we pull it from some APIs and things like that. Some is manual, but some we pull from APIs. But a lot of this is curated by us. Most of it is, right? We're going in here with love and attention to make sure that we're really writing up here, if you look at the surface, like exactly its pros and cons. This is not generic stuff that you find on a lot of sites out there. It's hand done based on our real world use cases. And yeah, so this is great. It's make sure you check out the site. Check out the deals, obviously buying from the site as well. It does help support the channel, which helps us grow, and click the subscribe button. I hope you guys have enjoyed and it's helped you out this morning. Yeah, I think till next time, hopefully you guys pick up some great deals. I'll do a community post after this with the ones that I found today that I think are really special because there has been quite a few good ones. So I'll put that on the YouTube channel, the ones that I think have been great. And till next time, guys, I'll catch you later.